Hi everyone, today in this lecture we are going to study about the sexual reproduction. About asexual reproduction in the lower plants we have studied in the last lecture, but today we will be studying about this sexual reproduction and all the processes related to it. So firstly, the angiosperms. The angiosperms are called the flowering plants that bear a very specialized organ that is called as the flower. I think you all may have seen that the flower which have the colorful essence and the color, which is the major part of the sexual reproduction, which later on gets converted into the seed and the fruits, okay, by various processes that we will be studying one by one in the detail. So when we are talking about the flower, it's important to study about the structure of the flower. So now we will be seeing the structure of flower. So whenever you see a flower, when you take in your hand, the base position, which is the swollen part, that is called as the thalamus. What do we call it? Thalamus. Clear? The base swollen part in which each and every part of the plant is being situated over here. The basal position is nothing but the thalamus. Below the thalamus you have one thin section that is called as the pedicel. Clear. Now moving to the upper section, we are going to see this swollen part which is called as the ovary. Okay, next this thin section is being called as the style, and this one which you see over here, that is called as the stigma, which is this sticky end and which will attract the pollen grains towards it. Clear. Now we are seeing these sections. This part is called as the filament and this is called as the anther. Okay, so this is called as the anther and this is called as the filament. Okay, so now the stigma, style and ovary, this together they are called as the carpel. What do we call them? We call them as the carpel, and this together, they are all called as stamen. This is the female reproductive hole. And this is the male reproductive. Clear. So what we have seen over here, one thing we have missed out, that is called as the sepal. Sepal is that covering which protects the flower in the bud condition. Clear. Now the most important part, that is called as the petals. Petals are also called as corolla. What do we call them? Corolla. They have many colors related to it, okay, when that we see in the various plants. So in this process of sexual reproduction, the angiosperms involves microsporogenesis, that is the formation of microspore, pollen grain, and which is done by our male reproductive hole. The generation of pollen grain will be done by the male reproductive hole, that is the development of male gametophyte will be done by this part, and the development of female gametophyte will be done by this whole part. Clear with that? And microsporogenesis will be taking place over here and megasporogenesis will be taking place over there. Clear. Microspore means nothing but the pollen grains, which we will be studying just now. Now we will be seeing about the structure of anther. We are putting our step towards the development of male gametophyte, means we will be seeing first the process of microsporogenesis, then the development of male gametophyte. But where this process takes place, how there is a generation of microspore, for that first we have to study about the structure of anther. So as we know that androecium is the male reproductive hole of the plant and gynoecium is the female reproductive part. Clear? So in androecium the male reproductive hole is stamen. Okay, so that is the stamen consists of three parts, that is anther, filament in the flower, as we have seen, that is called as the, that like this structure we have seen. Okay, this part is called as the filament. Clear? This part is called as the anther, sorry, and this middle section is called as the connective. Clear with this? Okay, so now we will be seeing the structure of this. So anther consists of two lobes. What the anther consists? It consists of the two lobes. Okay, that is called, it is being called as the diathecus. Theca means lobe. Theca means lobe, and it consists of two lobes, therefore it is being called as the diathecus. Apart from this, each lobe, okay, so this diathecus and its lobes are tetralocular. What they are? Tetralocular. That is, internally a diathecous anther is tetralocular. That is, it consists of four chambers. Four chambers that are called as the microsporangia. So this diathecus, it is being internally, what we will see a tetralocular structure. This structure. Okay, inside one anther, when you will dissect it, you will be seeing this tetralocular structure. Clear? Okay, so now what is called as the process of microsporogenesis will be taking inside the anther. So what is this microsporogenesis? A very easy definition is formation of microspore which takes place inside the microsporangia or the pollen sac is called as the microsporogenesis. So what is this microsporangia? As we have seen that anther is diathecous, we know that, but internally this diathecus is tetralocular. So this sectors, this one sector, this all are called as the microsporangia. Clear with that? So inside this microsporangia, the formation of microspores will take place, and this process is only called as the microsporogenesis. Clear? So now we will be seeing about the TS of anther, that is the internal structure. So this anther wall consists of four layers. First one is epidermis, second one is endothecium, third one is the middle layer, fourth one is called as the tabat. Okay, so epidermis, it is the outermost layer. Epidermis is the outermost layer, and this layer will be doing the work of protection. What it will be doing? This layer will be doing the work of protection. Clear? So let's draw here this first layer. Okay, the first layer is called as the epidermis. Okay, now the second one is called as the endothecium. Endothecium is the second layer beside the epidermis. So in this second layer, what we will be seeing, that is the cells will be little bit thick, and this will be very hard in structure. They will be very hard in structure. Okay, and they will be doing the work of fibrous thickening. They will be containing an enzyme that is called as the callose. Okay, this callose will help that microspore to stay inside that microsporangia. It won't come out once it is being formed. Okay, for the protective purpose, what there is, the second layer is done by the endothecium. Endothecium, what it contains? It contains the fibrous thickening of callose. Clear? So now what will happen, this endothecium, we are going to see this fibrous thickening of callose is very high over here, but when it comes over this section, the intensity becomes little less, and during the time of dehiscence we can see that it helps to burst out over there. We will see it little later on. Okay, so first layer was epidermis, second was endothecium. Now the third layer is about the middle layer. This middle layer consists of 3 layers of parenchyma tissue. How many layers? 3 layers of parenchyma tissue. 3 layer of parenchyma tissue. Clear? The 3 layer of parenchyma tissue, that is, what will happen is they will be present beside the microsporangia. As we know, these cells will degenerate at the time of maturity, and that is there will be formation of microspore, and 2 pollen sac of each lobe merges to form one chamber. Clear? So what I'm trying to say you is, here we have a tetralocular structure. Here we have seen the microsporangials. Okay, so first layer we have seen about the epidermis, we have seen about epidermis. The second layer we have seen about the endothecium. Now there will be parenchymatous tissue. 3 layers of parenchymatous tissue. 1 layer, 2, and the third one. They all will be surrounding the microsporangia. This is nothing but the microsporangia. Clear? So this one we have 4 lobes of microsporangia. Here we have seen first layer epidermis, second layer endothecium, third layer we are going to see about the parenchymatous cell, and this parenchymatous cell at the last time they will degenerate them, and this 2 lobes will merge together and they will form a single lobe. Okay, because they will get degenerate at the third step. Now the last step which we are going to see, that is called as the tapetum. So what is the tapetum? That is tapetum, it is the innermost tissue and the spores which are present inside this. Okay, so that's tapetum, it is the conical like structure. Here we are going to see the cone like structure, and this what they are doing, they are giving the nutrition to the spores which are present inside this sporangineous tissue, or they are giving the nutrition to the developing microspores, and they help in the formation of a sporopollen. What they do, they first we will write over here, tapetum gives the nutrition. It gives the nutrition to the microspores, and it gives each and every microspore, that each and every microspore a protective covering, that is called as the sporopollen. Means, for example, if any animal consume it, the hard covering is so hard that no one can, that it will not get affected by any enzyme, any chemical reaction or a thing. Okay, it is very easy, but we have seen epidermis, endothecium, middle layer, and tapetum. Epidermis, the outermost layer. Endothecium also consists of 1 layer, that consists of fibrous thickening of callus. Third one, middle layer, it consists of 3 layers of the parenchyma tissue, and tapetum, it is the innermost layer. It is the innermost layer, and it gives the nutrition to the microspore and gives a covering of sporopollen. Okay. TS, as we have seen the TS of anther, now we will be seeing, that is the process of microsporogenesis, how it takes place. Okay, so inside this there is a protective layer of tapetum, and due to this tight layer, the mother cell, that is the cells of microspores, are being situated over here. But during the time of getting matured, what happens is, we will see in this only, the second step will be, that is the cells will get differentiated. They will be getting loosened up, and these cells are nothing but they are called as the mother cell. What are they called? They are called as the mother cell. Okay, and this mother cell is diploid in nature. What it is? It is diploid in nature. Clear? But as the time of maturity comes, what will happen? That this mother cell, what it will be going? It will be going in the undergoing the process that is called as the meiosis. It will be undergoing the process of meiosis, and that is one mother cell will get differentiated into 4 haploid daughter cells, and that will be tetralocular in structure. Okay, that what we are going to see now. Okay, not tetralocular, that structure is tetralocular, but that structure of the microspore will be tetrahedral in structure, that is we will be seeing like this. So you will be thinking about this. The one structure is at the back side. Clear? One is at the back side and 3 layers we are able to visualize. So what happens, the tight cell in the second layer during the time of maturity, they get converted into mother cell, and mother cell undergoes the process that is called as the meiosis, and during this process of meiosis we get the 4 haploid daughter cell. Sometimes it's natural that the mother cell is diploid in nature, but sometimes if they are not, it is not natural that cell undergoes the process first of mitosis. During that process they get converted into 2N, diploid. Clear? So what is the definition now? Formation of the haploid microspore from the diploid mother cell is called as the microsporogenesis. Clear with this? Okay. So now we have got this structure, that is microspore, in our last stage. Okay, so what the structure of the pollen grain will be? The structure of the pollen grain will be, that is the outermost layer is called as the exine, the innermost layer is called as the intine, and the inner, that is in the middle we have the cytoplasm. The exine gives a, that is the exine, the outer layer is highly resistant to the wind, insect or anything, and it consists of sporopollenin. Sporopollenin means it is resistible to any biological and chemical reaction. Clear? The innermost layer, that is this cytoplasm, consists of cellulose and pectin. It consists of the cellulose and pectin that acts as a enriching spores. Now we have seen about this pollen grain, the structure you have to remember, and in the next video we will be seeing about the development of male gametophyte. Thank you.